Hello everybody, how is everyone doing? We are back with another season of GRS. But before that, give me just 1 second to check the audio, because it's been a while and I don't know if the settings are still correct. I think everything should be good. It does sound a bit muffled, but I can figure that out for next time. Anyway, as I said, hello, back again. We are today doing F3, the first race of F3. Beep. Oop, I'm sorry, I haven't done this in so long. I'm washed. Let's rewind time and do this all over again. Hello, everybody. My name is Kickerlin, or you may also know me as Dino, the Ferrari team principal, and the F1 driver, the only Croatian in the league. I don't know, whichever you want. I am going to be commentating today the F2 race, not F3, for the first race of Season 8. And we are going to be racing in Australia, which is a 5.2 kilometer or 3.2 miles long circuit with 16 corners. And a lot of them are very fast and flowing. 3 DRS zones are on the main straight, back straight, and on the straight after turn 2 to turn 3. So a lot of overtaking opportunities. Oh no, actually 4 DRS zones, because there's also one from turn 12 to turn 13 in sector 3. I forgot about that one because that was added later on. So yeah, a lot of overtaking opportunities, as I said, definitely into turn 3. And most definitely turn 13. I think those are going to be the places where we are going to see the most overtakes. And yeah, I think that's about it for that. And I think we're actually already going into the race. So let me just... Yes, we are. So, as always, if this is actually your first time watching a stream in GRS, we are doing a 50% race with a short qualifying session, which will set the grid for that race. And yeah, the weather is going to be dynamic, so we don't know if it's gonna be wet weather conditions or dry conditions, so everything is gonna be shown in due time, specifically 25 seconds if the people don't ready up. We have a full grid today, so that is also amazing, seeing how the game is pretty shit and people don't want to play it, but we do have a full grid. A lot of people reserving from F3, actually not a lot of people, only like 3 to 4 people reserving from F3. Specifically, if I remember correctly, Alpine, Williams, Ferrari, and Sauber have F3 reserves for today, and the qualifying session for today is dry, so that is brilliant. I will also need to actually check the in-game audio because I had some problems. I had some problems with the in-game audio setting stuff up earlier, so I'm gonna just check that when people go out on track, and then we can continue onwards. But I think we already see someone going out onto the track. I think that is Adam Bradshaw, or Claire Bradshaw, however you want to say it, in the Mercedes, going out first on the track. So we are gonna go on board with him, and I will very quickly just check the audio if it's all good. Okay, I think it's actually good. I just need to up the volume, and I think that should be everything. I'm gonna put it on 4. You can also, whoever's watching in chat, you can also tell me how it is. So we can just do this as quickly as possible so we don't miss out on any action. There we go. I think that now should be good. I think so. Anyway, like I said before, okay, we actually have a lot of people going out on track very quickly. So we will see quite a few queues, quite a few trains already appearing. On the okay, that's very aggressive weaving there from the Mercedes of Adam Bradshaw. So we are just going to stay on board with him for the first lap. of this qualifying session, and I will give you a little bit of a track guide to have the most optimal lines into this track. So, as Adam Bradshaw crosses the finish line to start his lap, using a little bit of overtake, braking at 70 meters, you want to use 5th gear for most stability, maybe even 6th if you have more speed and more turn-in. DRS again, 8th gear just before braking at the 100 meters in turn 3, staying in 4th gear for this whole section. For the most stability and traction, and then full flat out all of these corners except for going here into turn 7, I believe this is. You want to use 6th, maybe even 5th gear, as we see Adam Bradshaw going wide and unfortunately invalidating, as that is the consequence of that corner. That corner is very tricky to get right, but if you do, you will gain a lot of time because that corner predicts all of your straight line speed for this entire straight, as there is another DRS zone. You want to use a little bit of a DRS overtake mode to give yourself more speed. These corners, turns to 11 and 12, you can take those flat out if you're ballsy, but if you're not brave enough, just short shift to 7 and little lift, and you will be able to take it very nicely and easily. Turn 13, hard braking at 50 meters, 3rd gear, short shift to 4th. You can see just on Harris Wanwick Moore's onboard, he does the last sector very, very nicely, as he is going to do a 116.6. That is actually a pretty nice banker. Yesterday in F3 we saw the pole position be a 16.0. So this is only 6/10 of that time. So, like I said, for the first lap, that is pretty good. As we see a lot of other people also heading out on track. Corey putting it on provisional pole in the Williams, 116.5. As we also see Harry Conway, 117.0 for Haas. Doritos, 117.1. Revich, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't know his Discord username, Sight, so I'm gonna call him Sight. 117.3, Fett in the Alpine 117.3, and Mitch Snape on the mediums, the only person on the mediums, 118.2, as Callum Lyons actually puts it on provisional pole, 116.4. So far, it's looking pretty close. No one still crossing the F3 pole lap time, but these are only banker times. If you're any familiar with Formula 1 and track evolution, as time progresses and cars actually drive on track more and more, the track is gonna evolve and it's gonna become faster and faster. So it's only gonna be a matter of time when laps are gonna get to the 16.0 window, or maybe even 15s. Maybe we will see some in the 15s. But let's see, who is next to cross the finish line? I think it is actually ART Red Ninja, actually doing a purple sector 2. Let's stay on board with them. Let's see how he's gonna take the sector 3 of this track, having a really nice turn 13. Flat out in 6th gear, turn 14, braking at around 70 to 80 meters. Ooh, having a little backhand snap. Too early on the throttle there. That can really be messy, those final 2 corners. Just because of that, traction is very tricky to get right on this track. Because if you want more traction, you're costing yourself more stability and more turn-in response everywhere else. So it's a pretty big compromise to whatever you want to do with your setups. But usually on this track you want to run low downforce setups for better overtaking opportunities on the main straight, back straight, the straight in after turn 2, and then before turn 13. Straight line speed is very beneficial on this track, as on this game also running high or running low downforce doesn't even lose you that much downforce because of how pointy the cars are in this year's game. So I think low downforce setups could be the meta for the game, as we are currently on board with Adam Bradshaw lifting off and into 6th gear in turns 12 and 13. or 11 and 12. But having a really nice line there for turn 13, 14 flat out. He uses 5th gear, so he can actually have more rotation. Because from my experience, running that corner in 6th, you can take it flat out, but you are going to understeer into that corner, as we actually have a 5 place grid penalty from Charlie Gordon with for a collision with someone that I haven't remembered. I think it was Lucas Hodes. So that is gonna be looked at, and we might have a restart because of that. But yeah, we will see everything in due time. As give me just 1 second to check everything. Okay. Uh, that was checked. What I also looked at was that my microphone sounds a bit muffly. I'm gonna have to check that for next time, because we don't have enough time to do that now. But let's see, who else is on a lap that is gonna finish? Hugo Nilsson is gonna be finishing it, but he is quite a few sectors back as he actually enters sector 3. Purple sector 2! That is fascinating, but the game does like to lie about purple sectors. And a lot of people, of course, going into the pits as there is 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the qualifying session. And these are gonna be the second runs for most people, and that is why people are in the pits. Oh, that is very squirmy on the exit for Hugo Nelson. That is gonna lose him quite a few tenths, because that also loses you straight line speed for this main straight, and it is going to be a 17.3. Very unfortunate there, because I think he could have been in P12, presumably ahead of the Ferrari of sight, but he wasn't, unfortunately. So as everyone else is in the pits, let's take a look at the overall grid for now. As we see, Callum Leon still on provisional pole, a very good lap time from the Aston Martin. We saw the Aston Martins dominating yesterday with Corey, if I remember correctly. I don't remember who it was that was dominating, but I think it was. I really do not remember. As scratch that, Brabbit sets a 15.9. That is a really, really good lap time. Even beats the F3 pole. That is cooking from the McLaren there. I think the Ferrari team principal is gonna be very, very happy with that run, because that is 5 tenths to F2. Next, like I was saying, we have Corey and the Williams in F3 doing really, really well. With Harris Van Wyck more in P4, currently only a 10th to P3, so let's see if he's going to be able to improve. Darfitz in the Alpine, 116.8, currently on an outlap. 2,000s behind him is John Hearn. With Adam Leipage, oh, we see very dangerous pit entering by some people there. I think that was the Red Bull and the Mercedes. ART Red Ninja, the other Sauber in P9, Doritos in P10, currently starting another lap, so let's see if he's gonna improve. Harvey Conway P11, Adam Bradshaw P12, Sight in P13, Hugo Nielsen P14, P15 for Josh, Fett in P16, currently in the pit lane, waiting for the final few moments of the session to do his lap and have the best track improvement. SKA Scolion, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. In P17 for Haas, Mitch Snape in P18 with Charlie Gordon, the F3 reserve in P19. Finished yesterday in P3 because of the penalty, could have been P2. But he did have orange sidebar damage, so still need to give him credit for still remaining on the podium. And Lucas Oates in P20 on Inters for some reason. I don't know why. And let's go on board with, let's see, who are we gonna go on board? Some people are lifting off, presumably not really improving, and Bradshaw is still improving, but we were already on board. Mitch Snape is currently on the lap. Let's see if he's gonna be able to do anything. Yes, he's improving, so let's stay with him as he spins. That was a fascinating spin, as he does move out of the way for people that are on laps. I think that is actually Fit, currently on an out lap, and the Williams of Corey, who is actually on a lap. So let's see with Corey's not improving. Never mind. But let's just wait here, because we saw that with Mitch it did say plus time, and for Corey it still remains plus time. And I think we have Adam Lapage on a lap. The other Mercedes has... Actually, Adam Bradshaw puts it on P3 for Mercedes. Speaking of them. So that is a really good lap time, but Adam is gonna get blocked a little bit by the Alpine there. But thankfully moves out of the way just in time for that. So we're gonna stay on board with Adam, and I'm gonna go see the chat, because I haven't really looked at chat for a while. So let's see what people are saying. People rooting for Haas, for Fett in the Alpine. Audio balance seems good, thank you very much. Whoever is the Global Racing Series admin, I would probably say Luke. Can show Fett, please. Fett is actually on the lap. We are gonna stay on board with Adam when he finishes his lap, and then we're gonna go on board with Fett for a little bit, because I see that he is hopefully improving. We'll see. As Adam crosses the line, goes to P9, improves by a tenth and a half. That is a pretty solid lap time, so let's go on board with Fett here. Currently not improving and invalidated, unfortunately, so he still has enough time to go into the pits, put new tires, put the least amount of fuel possible, and go for another one. So let's see if he does that, or if he can go for another one already here when there's not a lot of traffic on the track. As we see the Haas of Scolion going to the pits, as well as the other Haas, his teammate, so that's gonna take them a while to sort out. Josh is currently improving, so let's stay on board with him. So let's look at chat a bit more. Sauber Cooking, yes, currently in P10-11. That's not bad considering when you look at it. It's incredibly close. We have a second and a half separating P1 and P18. So that is an amazing grid. That is, I mean, looking at previous seasons, the F2 grid's always been close and always been incredible, and we still have it again. As we see Josh crossing the finish line, improves by, I think that was 5 tenths. I'm not sure. But he does put himself into P11 between the two Saubers. So that is not a bad lap time, but I think he wanted more. But still, considering where Red Bull were before, with Lucas Holt in P20 and himself in P16, I think he was, that is solid enough. But there is still 3 minutes left until the end of the session, so stuff can still improve. As we see Sight with the Ferrari, just finishing his lap as well in Sector 3. Oh, again, has a little snap and another snap at the final corner. Those corners really are some of the most tricky corners to get right on this track, as well as, I would say, turn 7 before the long back straight. Or no, that's not turn 7, that's like, I don't know, turn 8, probably. And then turn 13 is actually a really difficult braking zone to get right, and the trickiest part about that corner is that you also need to take a lot of the curb, but if you take the red part of the curb, your car is just gonna go into a spin. So you really need to be careful how much curb you take there, but you also still need to take a lot. So it is very tricky to get that right, and also with how unpredictable braking is in this game, you can sometimes brake at 50 meters, but the other times you'll need to brake at 80, as we see Mitch nearly crashing into a wall again at the same place. So he really needs to dub down on those issues into that fast right-hander corner if he wants to improve currently in P18. If he doesn't, he will stay there, and I don't think he will be happy with that. But yeah, let's see if a lot of people are just on outlaps, so the first guy that is actually gonna start a lap is gonna be Harris 1 week more, so let's stay on board with him and see what happens. Dino, just watch out if restart needed, because Charlie has a grid penalty. Yes, I do know, but I don't know if there is a restart announced. It could be announced later. The only problem is I don't know how people actually got a grid penalty, if it was justified or if it was just accidental. That is also another thing we have to take into account before actually setting a restart. But I guess we'll just see in due time. Get him in F1, P7 with burnt hand, crazy. Yeah, and we are actually on board with you, so let's see what you are gonna do. 2 tenths up currently, doing a beautiful turn 11 and 12, but turn 12 the exit wasn't really that perfect, as he is currently getting blocked by the Alpine of, I think that is Fett. And that fully compromised his line into 13, and that run is gonna be over for Harry Swanwick-Moore, unfortunately. I don't think he's gonna improve as he took to the gravel at the exit. And yeah, that is another spin there for the Ferrari driver. Don't... I don't approve of that, but sure. Because you can get disqualified by that, and I don't know. Anyway, we are on board with Corey. So let's see if he is going to improve. Currently in P5, goes to P3, improves by 3 tenths. The other person to cross line is the other Ferrari driver off site, goes to P15. Next was Hugo Nilsson, goes from I think 15 to P6, so really good from the RB driver there. And one of the McLarens is currently gonna cross the line. I think that was Brabbitt, who was already on pole position, does not improve, so stays on pole. As the Aston Martin of Callum Lyons gets it on provisional pole. Beautiful stuff from the Aston Martin there. As we see Flippy in the McLaren also improved to P6. As we see the other Aston Martin of Doritos stay in P14, Harvey Conway puts it on P5, improves by 3 tenths. Beautiful stuff there. And then Bradshaw cross line, pits himself into the second row of the grid. One of the Saubers of Red Ninja does not improve, stays in P13. God, so many improvements. This is a brilliant qualifying session today. This is amazing. I am loving this. But we see again, as yesterday, as in F3, the Aston Martins seem to have something in that car, in the people driving, that they just take another pole position in F2 today. So congratulations to Callum Lyons to secure pole, and of course Brabbitt. I think this is his first race in GRS to have secured the front row of the grid. That is madly impressive, and you still gotta give props to that. So amazing stuff there from everyone. It's separated, everything separated by a second and 7 tenths, which is amazing. So I think we are on to a brilliant race today. It all depends if it's gonna be wet or dry, which of course we will have to wait and see. We got Callum in P2, he's in P1. FFS, this Alpine, yeah, the Alpine really was on the way, costing you your whole lap. That was very unfortunate. That could be reportable and could be in to get a penalty, but of course that is gonna be looked at by the steward, which is me! Way! I could do some live stewarding today, actually, as well, if it's gonna be needed. I mean, no, if it's not if it's gonna be needed, if I'm gonna be up to it. Because I am... this is gonna be my first time stewarding in 4 years. So I need to get used to everything again, and I need to get used to all of the rules and how everything, or how the whole process actually goes on with stewarding. So I'm gonna need some time to get used to everything. But let's see the weather. It is fully dry, and I'm gonna just look at F2 chat to see if there is a restart happening, which I don't see any indications of a restart, so we are just gonna go ahead with the race. It seems that the penalty was justified, so let's just do it. The most optimal strategies for this race, I would say, are gonna be medium to hard, and probably undercutting, because undercutting in this game seems to be pretty overpowered. So medium to hard, you can also do hard to medium, but I think you lose way too much time with the um with the with the hards in the beginning of the race, and you can't get that back at the end. So medium to hard, I think, is gonna be the optimal strategy. Maybe hard to soft or soft to hard if people wanna be that brave, but I don't think softs are gonna be needed in this race, except for if there's gonna be any late race safety cars, which there's a very high possibility in any tier that they happen. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But that is my strategy. Fuel consumption is also very high on this track, so you might see some people running out of fuel at the end, but we will have to wait and see. As we have 5 red lights, and we are underway for the first race in GRS and the Australian Grand Prix, as we have a really good start there from Callum Lyons. He is not going to be under pressure from anyone behind, and he is still going to lead. As behind we see some position changes, as I think that is Harvey losing some places. Or actually one position, but he gained it back as he's gonna go for an overtake dive bomb on the McLaren there as they go side by side into turn 3, still side by side into turn 4, and the McLaren is gonna be ahead as we see a RB behind crashing into the wall. I think that is Hugo Nilsson, as he could have damage because of that collision. But so far so good. It seems to have to everything that oh my god, everything seems to be pretty clean, was I trying to say. No immediate huge accidents, which is incredibly surprising, as Callum Lyons is still leading 5/10. Behind him is Brabbit, and then Bradshaw staying in P1, P2, and P3 in that order. And yeah, looking pretty pacey, that Aston Martin still is, as we see a yellow flag with a Haas behind. People going side by side behind with the Sauber and Josh in the Red Bull. But Josh stays ahead with Harry Swanwick Moore trying to get another position here with a really bad start, starting from P7, now in P12. So let's see if he's going to be able to make this move. You can see that his straight line speed is actually kinda better than the Red Bull as he makes contact. But I don't think that really unsettled anyone or got front wing damage. So that is good. As he can just continue his race. As we see a huge dive bomb from ART Red Ninja there in the Sauber, as he just spun himself and he's ghosting in front. Oh, what is happening here? This is very dangerous stuff. But thankfully, no collisions there because of ghosting. Even though ghosting is very rubbish in this game, that was kind of justified. But everything is happening so quickly, I can't keep up. As we now see mid-snipe, and we're gonna see 3 wide into turn 11. And thankfully, everyone stays intact as we see ART Red Ninja being pushed off by the Haas of Skullline, as we see another 3 wide as Harry's Sight goes on the move for Snape and actually makes it sick as we see Harry Swanwick Moore get damage. What is happening in this race? There's so much happening, I can't keep up with everything. I'm gonna lose my voice in like 5 seconds. Oh my god. Okay, let's calm down a little bit. People are crazy. If you're new to F2 and GRS and you haven't watched the 2 previous seasons, this should be expected, as we see John Ahern side by side with Skullline in turn 3, but Skullline stays in P12. Like, in Season 7 we had 10 different winners in 12 races. In Season 6 we had 10 different winners in 12 races. This GRS F2 is the equivalent of real-life F2, as we see a move happening for the lead as Brabbit overtakes on the hard tires, on the hard compound, the leader of Callum Lyons, as we have a virtual safety car. That is, I think, Darfit's crashing on the back straight. Let's see if he has damage. Yes, his full front wing is missing, so he will have to box to get that replaced, as we see nearly contact being made by Red Ninja on site, but thankfully that did not happen. I'm honestly surprised that this is the first VSC that we've had, because this has been insanity to watch. As we see a brilliant restart there from the Haas, as he was close to make a move there into turn 1, but he didn't do it. As we see Flippy now overtaking very easily Corey in the Williams, even before the corner. So really good straight line speed in that McLaren. But you also gotta say, really good pace by both McLarens, as Brabbitt on those hards is flying. Already 9/10 gap to Callum Leon's behind. So it seems that those hards are a perfect compound on that car, and with the combination with the driver. So whenever pit stops are gonna be open, it's gonna be very interesting to see if the mediums are gonna be good as well. As you can just see beautiful lines from Brabbitt there, just using the whole track to his advantage. And Callum not being able to get close with DRS on the second back straight into turn 13, but he will still get DRS for the next 2 straights, because DRS on this track works that the DRS detection point is right before turn 16, and you get it for this straight and the next straight, and it's the same with the two other DRS straights. As we see Callum trying to force some mistake from the McLaren, trying to fake a move on the inside going into turn 1, but I don't think Brabbitt had none of it. As let's see here, this section should be good for the mediums, but you can still see Callum losing time, even with the better compounds, so that is very interesting. Brabbitt seems to have really good race pace, so that is fascinating. Or maybe he's just running higher downforce. But let's see here, Callum medium ERS. He's trying to save it, presumably for the next straight. Let's see how he does this corner. He needs to get a good run off of turn 12. He didn't really quite get it, but he is using overtake and DRS. He is gonna try and force a move down the inside. He backs out of it. He knew that if he wanted to go for that, he wouldn't really that wouldn't go well for both of them. As we see Harris Von Wickmore being the first person to get a 3-second time penalty for track extensions, currently running in last position, having boxed for a wing change. But let's see here, Callum Leons is again close, braking early, trying to get a better exit into turn 1, but even with the braking early, Brabbitt is really good in the corners, so this is very fascinating to watch. The mediums should already be wearing out quite considerably, as I think the wear is around 5 to 6% each lap, so the mediums could be around 30% already. As I said before, I think the strategy is boxing around lap 11 or 12 to the hards, or if you're on the hards, lap 16 and 17 to the mediums. As we see Callum and Brabbitt going side by side with 3 wide with Adam Bradshaw, somehow out of nowhere overtaking Brabbitt's been overtaken by both of them. As Brabbitt, even with the loud DRS, is trying to go for a move on Adam Bradshaw there. But just as I said, he doesn't have any DRS, so his straight line speed is gonna be a bit compromised compared to people ahead. But Adam Bradshaw just came out of nowhere, as we see a lockup happening there by the other McLaren of a Flippy losing the position to Corey going into turn 16. So that is very unfortunate, but I think he can get it back soon enough, because it seems that the McLaren has really good straight line speed and cornering ability. So this is brilliant stuff here by everyone. Even though the mediums are getting worn, we can still see action happening like this, with the hards theoretically being the better tire currently. But let's see again. There's another opportunity on the horizon for Adam Bradshaw, the ABC driver. Very good team. Unfortunately, it doesn't show the full name. ABC sponsored by GRS. Adam Bradshaw. because that is a hilarious name. You need to see that. Like tomorrow, I think David Hoy has that name. As we see Fett getting a 3-second time penalty for track extension, says, let's see here, Anna Bradshaw, is he gonna go for the move? He didn't go before, and he's not gonna go for it now. As Brabbit also stays behind, he knew that if he went for that move, that it would just cause a lot of carnage. But I think that both Brabbit and Adam Bradshaw just want to save ERS, as Brabbit gets a really nice exit out of the final corner. He is going on the attack to the Mercedes, and he's on the inside line. He does take the position, but goes fully wide, has to cut the grass and cut the whole corner, which unfortunately loses him that position. But either way, he would have needed to give that position back because of an illegal overtaking outside the track. At least I think he did the overtake outside the track. He might have been ahead already by the corner. I'm not really sure. But very unfortunate there by Brabbit making that mistake. Let's see if he's gonna own up to it on this straight, as we see Sight getting a penalty. As Brabbit and Adam Bradshaw still going side by side, Brabbit decides to slow down, but he does get a better exit off of turn 12, takes the outside line as Adam Bradshaw goes defensive. Bradshaw still stays there, Brabbit doesn't expect it, and they make contact, but thankfully for both of them, they are still running on the track. These are very clean battles here happening today. This is phenomenal to watch, as we just have this huge train from P1 to P6. Harvey Conway just in the Haas watching all of this and just thinking to himself, what the beep is happening in front of me? I think he's just waiting for carnage to happen to for everyone here to just crash, and he can maybe take a podium or a win. But seeing how nicely people are battling, I don't think that's gonna happen. This is amazing battles here. But yeah, either that or Harvey doesn't really have the straight line speed to go for any opportunities, for which very unfortunate. So he's gonna have to think of other strategies to overtake, as we see the Green Racer getting another 3-second time penalty, as we see Brabbit overtaking for the lead going into turn 11. So that is amazing stuff there for Brabbit taking the lead. Let's actually, before going back, I thought Adam Bradshaw was going for a move, but thankfully he didn't. Let's go a bit to the other train, as we see Scolion battling for P9 for a points main position, and he's on the inside. He's gonna take that position very nicely, having to cut the curb slightly more than probably he wanted. But we see Josh DNFing into the wall, crashing into the wall, as we see Mitch somehow spinning because of that. And that has caused a safety car. This is brilliant for medium runners. Oh my god, what's happening? What? Huh? I'm not going crazy, am I? I'm not the only one who saw that. Fascinating. I'm gonna watch Harry's One Week more to see if that glitch happens again. He's in the pits. He stays in the pits. Fascinating. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, this is brilliant for medium runners. As I said, boxing on lap 11 or 12 from mediums to hards is the best strategy you can do on this track, and it's lap 10. So this is exactly what the medium runners needed, because they can go to the end very easily on the hards. Brabbit is boxing on the hards, and I think most people on the hards are gonna box for mediums, but that is not gonna be a good strategy. As we see Brabbit getting blocked. Never mind. I thought he was getting blocked, but he's still first with actually Charlie Gordon is leading the F3 reserve with Pet behind him in the Alpine. Brilliant. So yeah, I don't think Brabbit is doing good with this strategy because the medium tires wear out very quickly. I think he is gonna need to box again. He is gonna need another safety car to be back in this fight because everyone else who's on the hards can go to the end incredibly easily. But he will have to box again. Those mediums are not gonna go to the end. There is no shot that they go to the end. Because like I said before, if you do the math, the tires were about 5 to 6% each lap. There's 18 laps remaining. Probably 17 or 16 when the safety car ends. So 16 times 5. That's already more... that's 80... I'm bad at math. But that's around 80... 85, 90%? That's right in the puncture window. And then if you count 6% of that 5%, that is already way above 100%. So yeah, there's no way that those mediums go to the end, especially when you have to weave like this to heat up the tires. He will have to box again, so he's hoping for another safety car, I think, or his race is gonna be ruined fully. And that is why you see the other hard runners not boxing to the mediums as well. So I think they are doing a good job, but I still think that the medium runners are gonna be benefiting from this hugely. And not even hugely, massively. Pretty sure the Red Bull deliberately crashed. I have no idea, we weren't on board with them. I do have to report these. I do report, or in GRS we do report every VSC safety car incidents to see if they were made deliberately, so I will check those when stewarding, and then I will make the decision if it was made deliberately or just accidentally. But we will need a POV for that, so hopefully they have it saved. If not, they will be punished. Because POV warnings have been made more strict this season, because of last season people not caring about POVs, and now we have made them more strict, so hopefully people have POVs. Anyway, this race so far has been brilliant, but now the safety car has mashed up the whole grid, so let's see if there's gonna be more carnage, because we had two pretty nice trains from P1 to P6 and then behind from like P7 to P13, I think. So let's see what happens. It could still be clean, it could be more carnage. We'll see what happens. But yeah. This is gonna be fascinating nonetheless. We see a lot of penalties actually. Let's check the penalties. We have a lot of 3 seconds with the Alpine of Fett 3 seconds, John Hearn 3 seconds, Sight 3 seconds, Red Ninja 3 seconds, and Harry Swanwick more 3 seconds. So that will definitely not be good for their race at the end, as they get added up at the end. But we do have the safety car going in at the end of this lap, and the restart is going to be led by Charlie Gordon. So let's see how this is going to go. People behind still weaving, trying to get the heat into those hard tires. Tire heating is very difficult to do on this game, as Charlie goes underway right before the entry into the final corner, and he already has a 7/10 gap. He is also using a lot of ERS, which I don't think he needs to do. Well, I mean, he does need to do because he's on 12-lap old hards, but he's gonna need to that to defend. As we see Brabbit making a very easy overtake for P2 because of those fresh mediums. He's gonna go to the attack on the Williams. As you can see, he's just gaining time with like no compromise. He's flying with those fast mediums, but that is I still think he's gonna need to box again, or at least wait for another safety car. As we see Callum Lyons 3 wide with Callum Lyons pet and Mitch Snape. Mitch Snape, thankfully, I think backed out of it. With Callum Lyons and the Alpine still going side by side, and the Alpine has backed out, but he didn't need to cut a corner for it, and does gain a penalty because of that. As we see Brabbit going for a move around the outside for the lead. This is gonna be very good for Brabbit, because now he has clean air. And Callum Lyons, every single time I say his name, I pronounce it differently. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Callum Lyons, I'm gonna just try that, and then Callum Lyons can... you can scream at me when you watch this to say that my pronunciation of your surname is horrible. And please do. As we see 3 wide, I think, between the Alpine, the Visa Cash RB Visa Cash grabs, and Adam Bradshaw, who's been punted into the wall. But I don't think that was deliberate. Adam Bradshaw was just turning in when it wasn't necessary. And we see another crash between Fett and someone else. He crashes into the wall. Yeah, beautiful stuff happening. Wait, yeah, very good. As we see another VSC, as that's nearly contact between Harvey Conway and Mitch Snape. We might have a problem. Fascinating. Okay, so how does that work? He was beached on the curb, and his AI is able to go off of the curb. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Anyway, we are going again. So Carnage behind the top 3. I'm surprised Charlie's still in P2 and having a massive gap, but we did see a lot of crashes happening behind. Because people like Carnage in F2, it seems. But we are gonna see Callum Lyons overtaking Charlie. Charlie knows that he does not need to defend, so he just gives up that position. And we see Adam Lapage having a huge lock-up going into turn 3, making contact with Flippy there. As Mitch Snape losing the back end at the exit of turn 5. Compromising Adam Lapage's line slightly and losing him still a lot of time and as he gains a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, but he is now gonna overtake the Visa Cash Grab car, and we are gonna see the Aston Martin and the McLaren and the Visa Cash Grabs going 3 wide. This is not end well. How did you avoid that? Fascinating. So someone went out of nowhere and just fully collided into Mitch. Charlie Gordon's overtaken Callum Lyons for P2 again. As they again go side by side, Callum has DRS, but even with DRS, he's not gaining on him because of the ERS. Harvey Conway puts the fastest lap of the race, as finally Callum gets ahead of the Williams driver. And I think that he is gonna stay ahead now, because he does have those fresh tires, as Darfitz now gets a 3-second time penalty. Flippy making a move for P6. And we see Mitch Snape going into the bits for new mediums. He does have to, so because of that damage I think he'd had. I'm not actually sure if he got damaged. I didn't see him crash into any walls. He actually avoided the wall quite nicely. But yeah. As we see another overtake happening here between Adam Lapage and Doritos, or Doritos, I don't know. The MLG Doritos, as I think he could actually overtake McLaren as well here. Going into turn 13, he does not. He decides to stay back, and I think that is a good choice. He wasn't close behind, as we see Adam Lapage. You don't wanna go side by side there. That was, nah, you don't wanna go side by side there. As we see finally Charlie Gordon going into the pits, but he does need to, because he does need to make a pit stop, and he's gonna go for the mediums to the end of the race. The only question is if his race is completely gone. I think he's gonna need a safety car, but if these guys battle massively again, I think he can claw himself back, because he's not too far behind. He could get a point, maybe. Because he is on fresh mediums, everyone else is gonna be on really worn hards, so I think there is still a chance for him to get points. Speaking of points, if you're new to Formula 1 and you don't know how points work, points are awarded as follows: from P1 to P10, 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. And you also get a fastest lap point, but in GRS you do get a fastest lap for being even outside of the top 10. So in any place where you are, you will get the fastest lap, if you do get it, and you finish. I think 90% of the race you need to finish, so if you just do that, you will get it. But let's go a little bit behind here. Let's go to this battle. The Visa Cash Grab, the Ferraris, and a Alpine. Unfortunately there, Harry wasn't close enough to make a move in 13, but he will get the RS for the next straight, so let's see if he's gonna be able to make anything happen. Struggling with the traction, the Ferrari is, as he is using overtake, but I don't think he's gonna be close enough. He brakes slightly early, goes into 4th gear into turn 1, and using overtake again, he's gonna be able to make a move. Hugo is not defending the inside line. Harry decides to go for it, but it was a very, very late move. Hugo didn't even know if he needed to defend or not. And at the end, I don't think he really needed. That was a pretty easy position to stay ahead at. So maybe something could happen there. Harry's horrible with ERS management. I think he needs to learn a little bit about ERS management, but he is trying to save it now with medium, trying to go side by side, but he thinks better of it. He knows that going side by side here is the worst possible decision you can have, as his teammate behind Sight gets a 3-second time penalty. As now he finally goes side by side, makes contact with the RB driver, but thankfully they are still, both of them, staying on track, as Hugo now has the inside line. Harry decides that this is now Formula Drift, and decides to do a little bit of drifting into turn 14, but still stays on track and still is here. And has the RS again, using RS, and he is finally gonna be ahead of the RB driver. Really nice battle there. That was very, very enjoyable to see, as we see nearly 3 wide here in turn 13 between Adam Lapidge, John Ahern, and I think that was Lucas Holtz. So that somehow didn't end in carnage, but this is a huge DRS train still. So we have a yellow flag, red ninja for Sauber, but he is going again, so that is good. We don't need any VSEs or safety cars, so that is very nice. As, let's see here. Oh, some stuff happening behind, side by side between the Saubers and the Haas. As Colin goes to P8. Colin, I think this is also his first race, so he's doing very, very nicely to, if he stays here, to get some good points for Haas in his first race, as well as Brabbitt, who is still leading, but like I said, those tires are gonna be destroyed at the end. I think he needs to start thinking about tire management, and we're gonna see it now. Is he? He is tire saving. He is tire saving. You can see tire saving with how people turn the steering wheel, if their driving style is more smooth or aggressive, and with their throttle. Because if you're planting the throttle, giving wheel spin to your tires, that's of course gonna wear them out. And if you have very sharp angles, like if you don't do smooth turn-ins like he is now, if you just go from 0 to 90 in like 2 seconds, like you saw my camera go in there like whoop, Like, if you do that, that's gonna wear the tires out a lot. And you can see from his movements, he's not losing time, but he's only steering so slightly to still make it through the corner and still have the not optimal speed or average cornering speed, but still saving the tires. And with this strategy, you can very easily save like 2 to 3% of your tire wear. And what's even better is, like I said, he's not losing time to anyone behind, so he can do that and still stay in P1. So he's doing a brilliant job here. The Red Bull is. Red Bull. Oh, the McLaren is. As the other McLaren is being under pressure by Harvey Conway for the podium positions, as we see yellow flags. That is Hugo Nilsson getting spun into turn 1 and 2, the chicane complex, as we see Adam Bradshaw also spinning on the main straight. Things are heating up in this stage of the race, and speaking of heated up, I think there's 3 wide behind between a Haas, Aston Martin, actually not a Haas, a Williams, Red Bull, and Aston Martin. And people, I'm surprised people are staying alive. How is this possible? How are people driving this cleanly? This is F2. Crash. Crash. Like, this is, I think, the cleanest F2 race I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, they are making contact and stuff like that, but the battles I'm seeing are so amazing. People are not scared to go side by side anywhere, and they still somehow manage to stay alive. I'm color me surprised. I'm shocked. I don't know how this is possible. But we do see Harvey overtaken for the podium position. We unfortunately did not see that overtake because I was too much focused on the people behind Harvey, also squabbling into turn 13 and 11 and 12. But yeah, this is fascinating as Adam Bradshaw gets speeding into the pit lane penalty 10 seconds and retires into the pits. So his race is fully over. As we see again here, I think people going side by side as Skoloin overtook the Aston Martin of Doritos. So that is a very nice move there. Doritos is losing a lot of time on the straight for some reason. Oh, he's using non-ERS. Probably. Oh, there's contact between Lucas Hodes and Skoloin as they nearly spin each other out fully, as Harvey now gets a 3-second time penalty. That's not gonna be good for his race, because he was battling for a podium. A lot of people here don't... Actually, they do have penalties. I didn't see that correctly. But, yeah. Thankfully, that didn't end both of their races, so I think they both will be happy that they got away from that scot-free. As we see Corey easily overtaking Flippy for P3. Even before the corner on the straight, Corey I don't think defended, or Flippy I don't think he defended that in the slightest. I don't think he needed to, because now he's gonna get the DRS for this straight, for the back straight, and I think he's gonna just get it back. So let's just go on board with him. His DRS, oh, he has a lot of DRS. He doesn't need to worry. He doesn't even need to use overtake. Like, look at this, easy overtake. But they do still go side by side. They do leave each other enough space, and he does go ahead. As you see, Harris Van Wyck Moore get another 3-second time penalty. That is going to be added to his time. 3 wide between the Haas, Williams, and Aston Martin. But again, somehow, they still stay alive. As behind Skoloin is getting a bit squirrely on the exits with the traction into turn 14, 15, 16 was solid, but that is... he's still going to be under pressure from people behind. Yellow flags behind for Harris Van Wyck Moore, but thankfully he is back on track again. So that is very nice to see. But yeah. Another thing to look at, actually, is that Callum Lyons has clawed himself back to nearly the DRS of Brabbitt. So Brabbit is tired of saving so much that he is starting to lose time. I think this is gonna be the point. I think around lap 26, I think Brabbit is gonna do like enough tire saving and he can just push to the end so to stay ahead of Callum Lyons. But we'll have to wait and see. That is a crash from the Red Bulls and the Haas, I think that was. I don't know what happened there, but that is very dangerous. Thank God he ghosted. Oh God, that could have ended in tears. That was... Ooh. That was scary. Very, very scary. Callum is in DRS, but he doesn't have it on the straights. He does not have it on the straights, but he will have it for next time. Let's stay in this battle. He doesn't have DRS, which is the problem, or ERS, which is the problem. He does need to save quite a bit of it if he does want to go attacking. Brabbit is also saving. This is gonna be a very interesting final few laps. So let's see what happens. Callum does get DRS for this straight and the next one right after turns 11 and 12. Is he gonna be close enough to make a move in turn 11? I don't think he is. But let's see if he gets a really nice line. Oh, that was nice. Turn 13 or 12 could have been better. But he still has the line using overtake. He's gonna go for it. Going down the inside. Late dive bomb. And unfortunately, he still has to stay behind. He does not take it. That was very, very nice attacking there from Callum. Just telling Brabbit that, hi, I'm here. You're screwed. As you see, Harry get another penalty. But let's see if Callum is gonna go for another one using non-ERS trying to save it. So I don't think we will see another move. Or actually, Brabbit is using none as well. Yes, that is a very easy overtake for Callum there, but I think that was strategic. Because both of them were saving ERS there, and they still are saving ERS. As we see Adam Lapage also getting a 3-second time penalty. But let's see here on the back straight is Brabbit. Does he still have the tires to fight for the lead of the race? He's already lost 5/10 in that whole first sector, and his straight line speed, he's not using overtake, he's using hot lap, but he's not really gaining that much. But Callum, yeah, Callum is using everything that he has at his disposal, and I think that is gonna backfire because he's at 1% when Brabbit's on 70. Callum really needs to start saving more because he's really gonna be under pressure. As we see a huge crash behind the Ferrari and Alpine of Sight and Arfitz. I don't know what happened there, but I did see they went off the track, but seemingly they are still driving, so thankfully that's the case. But that could be reported, and we're gonna have to see that later. But let's keep a close eye on this battle. I know there's battles happening behind for a podium, but this is for a lead, and I think a victory is more important to see here, to see what's gonna happen. But I think Brabbit is gonna stay behind again. He's using slightly. Callum's ERS management is also not good. This is not gonna end well for Callum, as we see Brabbit still cruising into 11 and 12. And I think he is gonna go for the overtake. Callum defending the inside line, but going back to the outside. Juking Brabbit, that was very nice there. Very nice defending there. Usually with defending you can only do 2 moves. One, like if you defend in the inside, you can move on the inside and then move back, and that's it. You cannot do any more moves, and we did see that from the Aston Martin, as he fully goes off of the racing line to get outside the DRS or the slipstream of the McLaren. So that is very, very interesting strategies there, as we see Corey getting a penalty and getting very squirrely on the exit of turn 1, which gives Flippy another opportunity to overtake the Williams, but he doesn't have the RS, he cannot do it, as we see now Harvey going on the inside. Dive bomb from the Haas. They do leave each other space, but Flippy doesn't really use that space that Harvey has given, and they did make contact because of that, unfortunately. And he is still in the DRS, but Harvey is gonna stay ahead and gonna try to make an overtake to Corey. As you see, another change in position for the lead, as now Brabbit is ahead. As you see, oh, that is that could have, I don't know what that was. That was very dangerous from the McLaren. I don't know if that was a brake check or just... I did see that he was using non-ERS. Maybe that was just so slow because of the ERS that the Callum didn't expect it. I have no idea what happened there. But we are going on to the final lap. Oh my god, this went by quickly. The final lap of the race. Thankfully, Callum has actually saved a lot of the ERS, so he can defend. Brabbit is still not really pushing too much, but he doesn't also need to, because he has the RS for the upcoming straights. So this is gonna be fascinating to see who's gonna take the lead. But Callum's losing it everywhere in sector 1, in the slow corners, in the slow speed and medium speed corners. He does gain a little bit of time going outside the turn 7. But the problem for him is, Brabbit has DRS, he still has DRS, he's using a lot of overtake, but he doesn't even need to, he still has DRS for this next straight. Callum cannot defend this. Callum cannot defend this. Let's see, is Callum goes defensive on the inside, but Brabbit goes even more on the inside. They make contact, he fully pushes him off, as Brabbit is gonna be ahead, and he is gonna win the race, but that was incredibly dirty there by the McLaren. I think that could be reported by the Aston Martin, and that is gonna have to be looked at, but on track, the McLaren of Brabbit does take the win, and wins the first race in GRS. As we see side by side there, Flippy goes to P3. As it's a double McLaren podium. Wow. Wow. Fascinating. That was a good race. I really enjoyed that race. So, Brabbit wins the Australian Grand Prix, the first race of Season 8 in GRS, and his first race in the league. That is a really good effort from the McLaren there, and the McLaren have a really good team with a double podium in the first race, but you cannot discount Callum. Aston Martins in F3 and F2 have an incredible team. I think these two teams can definitely battle for the championship. I think it's guaranteed that they're gonna fight for the championship. And of course, like I said, good effort for Flippy. He was one of the only ones that didn't get a penalty, and you can see how beneficial that was, because he got rewarded for a podium, or by a podium. Like, brilliant stuff there from everyone. I'm amazed by everyone. As we see, Charlie Gordon, driver of the day. I don't know who I would give driver of the day. I need to think about it a little bit more. I need to see the position changes and stuff like that. So when I see that, I think I can see. But let's take a look at the race director really quick. There's a lot of penalties. Oh my god. Okay, there you go. So, as I said before, Brabbit takes the win and takes 25 points. Right behind him is Callum Lyons in P2, and Flippy takes the final step on the podium. Harvey Conway takes P4 for Haas. Brilliant stuff there from Harvey. Very, very good. Corey P5, Doritos P6, John Hearn P7, the Arrowhead driver of Scoleon P8, Adam Lepage P9, and Charlie Gordon, the F3 reserve, getting the final points paying position. Brilliant stuff there from the reserve, starting last and going to P10. Darfitz P11, Lucas Oates P12, Sight P13, Hugo Nelson P14, Mitch Snape P15. Hugo actually takes the fast lap. Harrison McMurray P16, Adam Brashaw 17, Red Ninja 18, Josh 19, and Fett in the Alpine 20th. I was hurrying up because the timer was going off, but it seems like I did not need to. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. What can I say except for brilliant race? That was incredible. If the entire season is gonna be like that, that is gonna be phenomenal. That is gonna be incredibly enjoyable. Now let's see. Am I gonna do interviews? My problem with interviews is I'm horrible with interviews. I cannot think of any questions to ask, but yeah, let's do interviews. So we have Rabbit. I think that's who is that? So Andy Kong, Stephen Bekowiz, and Callum Leon's top 3. Callum. Okay, my only problem is I think I'm gonna have a little bit of a problem setting up the Discord audio, because before I had that problem as well. But I think if I just do this, I think this should be good. Give me just one moment. Let's see. We might not have interviews. Okay. We actually are gonna get the interviews, so that is very good. But I do need to check if the Discord audio is gonna be recorded. Actually, that is the only problem that I have. But let's wait. There we go. We are starting to see people join. Okay, as we wait for Callum to join, as I think he's also gonna be doing the interviews. Ah, there we go. Okay. Can someone just say something really quick? Because I don't think the Discord is getting the audio. Yeah, it's not getting the audio. Give me a sec. I need to fix stuff. Oh, why is this so complicated? Oh, I think it works.
I can hear you.
Yes, I think I've done it.
Cool.
Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. The first person that we are going to interview is, of course, our race winner, Stephen Bekois.
I'm so bad.
Yeah,
hello.
First of all, congratulations on the win, of course, and I just wanna ask, what are your overall thoughts of the race?
Yeah, thank you, first of all. I enjoyed it today, so it was my first race in this league, and what I saw, the drivers were quite good, quite fair, but yeah. First of all, Callum, I'm not sure what happened. I feel a little tap in the last braking zone, and that made it really hard to turn into the corner, as my tires were really down on tire wear. So unlucky, but I think I could nothing do. I couldn't do anything else. Yeah, it was quite fine. All in all, I enjoyed it. The safety car was not in my favor, but all in all, I'm quite happy. Also to see another McLaren on the podium. So congrats on my teammate.
Yeah, of course. And speaking of the safety car, did you think that your race would be ruined because of the safety car? Because theoretically, the mediums would not go to the end. So how much tire saving did you need to do on those mediums to actually get them to the end of the race?
To be honest, I was really surprised that the tires survive. I was somehow hoping for another safety car because it would help me. But somehow the tires were working fine. In the beginning, I was not even trying to save tires, as I was trying to create a gap to P2. And yeah, I think until lap 20, 21, my tires were done, and Callum was closing the gap. And yeah, in the end, the last lap was quite fine. I think the double DRS was a key, and yeah, really happy with that.
Of course. And I think the final question for me is, you already said that this is your first race in the league and you already won it. Should we expect more wins from you over the course of the season?
Really interesting question. So at the moment, I cannot look into the future. To be fair, I had a league race in Australia a short time ago, so I was really well prepared and not sure if I can repeat that kind of preparation. So we will see. Today was a good race, and we will see how the season goes on.
Yeah, of course. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and again, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next person that we are going to interview is the P2 finisher in the Aston Martin, Callum Lyons. Welcome, congratulations on P2.
Yeah, thank you. Stephen, mate, that was a great battle. Yeah, good job, mate.
Thank you.
So, the first question, I already kind of asked a similar question, but the safety car. Did you think that your strategy would have came out on top with Steven having to go on the mediums to the end? Were you hoping that his tires would blow out and you just win the race entirely, or were you hoping for a battle that you had at the end?
I 100% thought that he was not gonna. Well, he was gonna make it, but I did not think he was gonna have the speed he had at the end. he did a pretty good job at keeping them alive. Yeah, I was closing in quite rapidly. It was like 6 tenths a lap, and then there's so many DRS zones that if you get in front, you just get overtaken on the next one. So it's really hard to kind of try break it. But yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah, of course. I forgot my next question. I'm sorry. I haven't done interviews in a while. I think my question was about your team. Actually, you
Yeah.
have won the F3 race as Aston Martin, and you're of course the team principal of Aston Martin, and you seem to be incredible in F2 as well. So, could we see this maybe continuing over the course of the season?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll probably be up here every week. Hopefully battling for the win every week. Pole was really closer than I thought, to be honest. Connor did a good job yesterday in F3, and F1 tomorrow. Managed to secure another F1 driver, so full lineup. So yeah, hopefully them two can perform tomorrow.
Amazing. And I think the final race, I just want to hear your overall thoughts. We did hear them with our about your battle with Steven, but your overall thoughts of the race, things you could have done better, and maybe stuff like that.
Yeah, my ERS management was horrible. Yeah, it was like turn it off to try gain, and then I pushed Steven on the fast left-right flick. I managed to get him there, and he'd get me back at the end of it. So yeah, just need to kind of work on my overtakes and ERS.
Yeah, of course. Well,
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck this season, and I hope everyone in F2 can see the battle continue between you and Steven. I think everyone is going to be very excited for that title fight.
I think McLaren have a really strong lineup too. I really didn't expect them to be that strong.
Oh, definitely. I don't
They're
think
both
anyone did.
Two new drivers. Yeah, two new drivers. I bet Luke is very happy.
Luke
think
took a
Australia-
gamble. Luke took a gamble and it paid off massively. And speaking of McLaren, we are going on to our P3 finisher, Andy Kong. Congratulations on the podium, of course. And first of all, my question is, you were one of the only ones that didn't get a penalty. How hard is it to actually not score a penalty in Australia and see the main benefits to finally get a podium in F2?
Like at the end, yeah, the battle was like really tough, like between like the other drivers, and I was just like staying back to not get a penalty because I was on two like strikes, and I was on black and white flag. So like I was just staying back and manage my battery and try to not like spin or like get a penalty.
Yeah, of course. Those battles, speaking of them, you were in a huge train the whole race. How hard is it to keep having clean battles with everyone and still managing to come out on top?
Well, it was just like managing the ERS. I think like mainly is the main point because like the DRS zones, of course, like into the right and left and right sort of the corner, the sequence. Like you have to manage your battery like before, so that it like don't overtake you. You have to like deploy battery before, and then sort of like hang on to the lead before like they get like after the corner, so that they won't like just flow by you and then break that DRS gap into the main straight. So yeah.
Very nice. And I think the final question that I've already asked everyone here, your overall thoughts of the race, and can this McLaren form continue of getting double podiums and maybe even taking a championship at the end?
To be honest, I was like quite surprised that it was like my first like actual league race, and I thought like a safety car would just destroyed my race because like we had the double stack, and I lost at least like 2 or 3 positions during that safety car. And I think like today was a genuine surprise, but I'll keep like working hard to like go back on the podium and win the constructors championship.
Well, I guess we'll just see what happens. Well, best of luck this whole season, and again, congratulations on the final step of the podium.
Thank you.
And as that is done, if you are in the Discord, server of GRS, we are gonna be doing a poll for driver of the day, and I'm doing that. I'm picking all three of you because all three of you drove an amazing race. You three were cooking today. You were amazing.
Cheers, cheers.
So that voting is going to be available for anyone in the server, so be sure to vote. It's going to be put up right after this stream. And while we are talking about stuff like that, if you did enjoy the stream and the commentary and the race, of course, you can leave a like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. You can also watch some other videos that we've made and streams. Yesterday we had F3. Watch that race. It was amazing. Tomorrow the F1 race is going to be happening as well, the same time, 7 p.m. UK time. And yeah, I'm gonna promote the documentary a little bit. Go watch that. It's 47 minutes long. It took me 2 months to make. Please watch it, please. Anyway, if you're also interested, there are some links in the description of this live stream for the Discord, of course. Like I said, you can join us. You can be part of all of these things that we've done for the season and the team principal system. Or if you don't wanna drive the season, you can also help out with stewarding, commentating, media stuff, driver recruitment and stuff like that. Or you can just talk to our drivers. You've just heard some interviews from them. You can see that they are very friendly people. So if you just want to talk and get some advice about league racing or stuff like that, go right ahead. And there are links to our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We are trying to post frequently with the new systems, the driver recruitments to teams. So if you're interested in those, be sure to follow us on those platforms and you will get the latest news. And that's about it. Yeah. Tune in for F1 tomorrow. And again, my name is Kickerlin. You may know me as Dino. And have a good night.